Today we have Krishna, one of our consultants. He is also an architect, I would say, right? You have the gelar
Yeah.
as an architect.
Yeah.
He has been helping our clients in securing the right drawings, for example, and also the right permits. We want to welcome Krishna. How are you today?
Good here. And how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for having
Yeah.
me here. Today, we basically want to touch the big question about the change of regulation in 2026.
Yeah. New
Okay.
Year's, new regulations.
I would like to start today with one question. How are you and what have you been doing so far?
Yeah, it's good here, but so many regulation change now, so we're still waiting from the government about what it's exactly it's will be in the fixed regulation because, the government from the centrals and the new update about the KBLI and the Bali government sent some letter that request to block or some KBLI that in PMA. So it's still waiting about the answer from the central. So yeah, still little bit stuck.
Wow, it sounds a lot. But does it mean that this year, 2026, is the end of Wild West investing in Bali, meaning that there's no more? Um,
Yeah, hope something like that because with the regulation getting stricter, it will be very good for the investment, especially for the person who want to follow the regulation. They will get so many benefit now because if you don't have regulation, you cannot do the Airbnb in Mars. As I heard from the news, if you
mhm,
don't uh, upload your NEB and your SLF
mhm.
registration or something like that, you cannot be published on the Airbnb and be delisted. So I think it's a good for person that's already follow the regulation, and for the person who want to try to invest, it's more secure for them. So not many of scamming happening.
Mhm. Yeah, but we used to see people running villas, cafes, and surf schools under one generic license right before. But with KBLI 2025, that seems impossible now. Can you explain the one-to-many concept that and why the general trading license is effectively dead?
Based on what I already read, it's not still final. I
Mhm.
think because it's not released yet, but
Mhm.
on the draft or something like that, it's very specific now for the KBLU. It's cannot be fixed between the leaser and also the person who run the business like a accommodation. So
Mhm.
you need to make something like a two company. That's if you do the short list, you need to work with the local. It's something like that because the villa it's only for local. Same like Pondok Wisata. If you do real estate, you cannot do short list like before. It's actually happen. Uh, it's not always from a long time, but it's still on gray area. But now in the new regulation, they make it strict. Real estate
Mhm.
cannot be as for like you accommodate it like a villa or something like a short term lease. If you want to do short term, you need to do the hotel bintang or apartment hotel or something like that. Not for
Mhm.
the
Yeah. There's also like a massive rumor floating around LinkedIn that the capital requirement for a PMA dropped to 2.5 billion rupiah. Is it actually cheaper to start a business now, or is there a catch that people are missing?
I think it's something like a misunderstanding in there. 2.5 billion, it's the minimum cash you need to do for like a down payment first for your 10 billion for KBLI. because now per KBLA it's the price is 10 billion, not like before. You pay 10 billion, but you can include so many KBLA in
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
But now per KBLA is the price is 10 billion. So it's getting expensive, not cheaper.
yeah.
Before maybe you can just rate it on the paper. Yeah, I have 10 billion, but the money is where we don't know. But now you need to show the money. It's 2.5 billion. Let's say you must keep in the bank like 10 months or something like that. They have a
Mhm,
minimum time you need to keep the money on the local bank for sure you really have money to do.
mhm. Okay. So we have also learned so far, I mean, before, about the nominee structure. For decades, it was the open secret of Bali, with the tax office, DJP, and land office, BPN, integrating their data in 2026. Is the nominee model just risky, or is it now financial suicide?
Yeah, for using nominee, actually, if you don't have a good legal or agreement, it's will something by be nightmare in the future because it's a long time period of you work with the nominee. It's long time. Let's say you lease the land for 2,000 years at 20 years, so you work with the nominee 20 years. But in case if the nominee is die, something can be bad in there because their son, their grandchild can be fight each other. Because if you don't do in the legal way, it can be problem because they can take your property because all is under their name. So you don't have a legal
Mhm,
stake in there. Maybe that's
mhm,
the main problem. And the other, because now the OSS linked to everything,
mhm.
the nominee will be think twice because of that, because it's impact to their wage, tax,
Yes,
and report
yes.
needs so many things to do. If
Yeah.
you don't do it correctly and do negotiate with the nominee or the landlord, you want to use the name, yeah, it's better just use PTA or use the right zone. Don't try to uh, take a risk on doing building like with the local name landlord or in the yellow zone. Something can change. It's and
Mhm, mhm, mhm. You mentioned about using the local, or I think the most case scenario is the landlord, yeah, name for PBG, for example, or for the SLF. Do you still recommend people doing that, or maybe not recommend, but like, do you think that it's possible to keep doing that, or do you think that it's risky, especially with the new regulation?
yeah, maybe you if that the last option, it's for the existing building, yeah, because it's sometimes can be stuck. Let's say for existing, yeah, maybe I can recommend it there because no other option. If for the new building or the PBG that want to build, I'm not suggest that. It's
Mm,
better you choose with the legal way, make a PTPMA, choose the right zone, right KBLE and everything. But if you already build have, and have the building and the business already running, that's the only way. Let's say you
yeah.
build in Badung and in yellow zone. There's no option you using the PTPMA in there. So the last option is using the local or landlord. But make sure you do the right on the agreement and the report and everything. Don't make a hole that can make your building and take over by the landlord because all the regulation, permit, and everything is under the landlord. Uh, that's the last option that I suggest if it's already existing.
Mhm. There's also like what I think for people, for especially locals who wants to be a nominee. I think the downside now is that you're right, because they could track everything through OSS, and it could link to, for example, the tax system. And the government through the tax office, they could actually track how many incomes you have. If it doesn't match with your monthly income, but then on or as you are registered as an owner of, for example, 10 billion villa, then I think it would, auto flex it.
Yeah.
Like your name is already, on the red
Yeah.
list. Yeah. So yeah, so jump to the next question. You mentioned about the zoning and location wise. Where can you actually build? Because the government now dropped a shell about with the Sarbagita moratorium, freezing hotel builds in Canggu and Uluwatu. Does this mean the south is officially closed for business, or is there a loophole for smart investment?
Actually, the moratorium it's not fully blocked all the accommodation. It's only blocked for the like green zone. No, there zone changes again because before so many uh, outside there suggested you can build. We can change the zone from green to the yellow or pink and something like that. But now on moratorium, actually they just something like a little bit minimized to their change zone. But if you want to business, I suggest it's very uh, it's the pink zone or pink area. That's specially for tourism. So I think it's will be get easier to get the permit done and everything on the legal thing because if you build in the other zone, it's so many restricted on that area. Let's say you build in the green zone like horticultura, it's only get 20%. It's so small for it's
Mhm.
you can only build maximum 20% of the base area or building, so it's not in good for the investment, I think, because you rent a big land and build on this mall. So I think it's the best way you can build in the pink zone because the percentage of building is 50%. It's already big. The function, the infrastructure, the legal and everything is already fit for you to run in PTPMA. And the KBLA, yeah, of course, you're using the hotel. So this it's something like you cannot do a small accommodation again, right? Because
Mhm.
hotel bintang and hotel and other it's a little bit it's bigger, not like one only one small pillar. It's actually from the long time you cannot do it for the foreigner, but sometimes they doing some tricks, so it's allowed. But for now it's getting stricter. The
Mhm.
PMA only can build a medium and high risk building, not in
Mhm.
the medium low.
Mhm. But also, just to make it clear, what we meant by hotel building is not exactly the kind of building like what you would find in big city like Jakarta. We have like a limit of the height and the floors. Um, so hotel here meaning how you operate
Yeah,
the property
yeah.
with for daily rental, short-term rental,
The
and
facility is complete.
yes, facilities and seasonal pricing. So that is what we went by hotel in Bali.
Yeah,
Okay, so basically moratorium applies to the whole island in Bali, right?
yeah,
Okay. This actually leads us to the split model or the PropCo OpCo. Why are we telling clients they now need two companies to run one hotel, for example?
yeah. Because for PMA, you cannot do the, like I said before, if you make a small project, it's not like a hotel bintang. Yeah, of course, you need to have two company because if you run it by yourself, it's too small for you to run as a hotel bintang. So you just do it as you as the owner of the building. So you're using the KBLA real estate and then you work with the local company to run like a KBLA, like a villa or other sort term lease. So it's more legal to do something like that. So you can do sharing on the profit or something like that. That's the dream. But if because you cannot do like a before you register a
Mhm.
real estate, but you do a sort of, it's not allowed and it's clearly restricted like for now.
Mhm. So meaning that one license or one KBLI for holding the land and the building, and then the other one is for the hospitality
Yeah.
management. Okay, understood. Now we jump to the next question regarding the specific permits that act as the keys to the investment.
Yeah.
We, keep hearing people saying you don't need SLF because what you need is you can choose either PPG or SLF. That's one thing that I want to clear up first. What I know that I mean that is not the right way to approach this, but what can you say to people who think that they don't need SLF because they have EMB already, or they don't need SLF because they have the building permit?
Okay, I will talk about the description first, yeah, because I think so many people confused about because why we have to do two different permitting, blah blah blah. It takes so much time and money. Yeah,
Mhm.
the PPG is persyaratan bangunan gedung, so that's the permit to do the construction and building, and you want to start the building. The PVG you must process before you do the construction. It's using the construction drawing. So it may be just a small adjustment on that to follow the regulation of the PVG document, but it's not. If you do the PVG exactly like what in construction drawing, it's something like just change the, let's say, the header or something like that, and the maybe make a report more detail, and also you need to work with the architectural MEP and structure with the certificate. We call it SKK. And after you got the PBG, you can do the construction. And on the time the construction it's running, the person from government will do the checklist if the PBG already the construction already follow the PBG or not. And then after all construction finish, you need to report the building is already finished and ready to operational. That's the certificate layak fungsi function is there. The SLF is actually like a certificate for run the business and say the business is okay to running like this. Let's say you do the SLF for the Hotel Bintang, so you apply for your building that's ready to run as Hotel Bintang with all the specification, all the safety, all the structure and everything in there. It's already ACC. If already ACC and got the permit, you can run the business. Actually, the thing is like that. But if you already have the building and don't have the permit, you can directly do the SLF. But because you don't have PBG before, you will get the PBG with the SLF in the same time if you do directly. But so in many cases, they build first and do the SLF for the on the last. It's something not I suggested because it's very risky. Sometimes the government will coming and do the police line on your project. That's the thing, and also they can take, let's say, money from you because you do something like not follow the regulation and just to take give you time to finish the project. Uh, and about the EMB, actually, it's already not valid anymore because all must be substitution to getting SLF. If you already have PBG, EMB, you need to do the SLF also. There's no option if you already have EMB, you do need to do SLF. It's something like a misunderstanding because
Mhm.
it's actually not working anymore from 2022.
Mhm. Okay. And also, I think what I could add is because we, for example, for foreign investors, SLF is important, even though that the house, the building has previously had a EMB title, you still need to acquire SLF, because this SLF you will need it to submit it to your OSS system as proof of your investment. Okay, so also at the same time, your SLF of the building, I'm talking about the now villa rental, yeah, the rental. You need it to submit onto your Airbnb and Booking.com accounts.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little about this new regulation that the government just dropped about the OTA's mandatory of SLF?
For what I already read before, the most important thing is now you must register your NEB. So no
Mm.
there accommodation again is do it illegally, because before Airbnb approve every accommodation, but now they only can be allowed to approve the accommodation with the NEB. But with the SLF, I think it's because it's also take time. You cannot do it like
Mhm.
let's say you register for tomorrow and then get the SLF next week. It's something like that, not something like that. So if you already have registration number, I think they still leave it on that, because it's really take a time now. Let's say it can take 8 until 1 years, because so many application now, and the government with efficiency now, so not many person in charge in there anymore. And yeah, and also maybe sometime it can be a system problem and everything. They do
Mhm.
update, don't inform us or something like that. So yeah, it's take a long time to do that, but it must the thing that must to do. So yeah, maybe with only the registration number, PKKPR, and the other OSS and validation and everything, it's okay to do that, but you need to process the SLF as soon as possible.
Yeah. Now, we have already talked a little bit about ITR and the zoning, zonasi. We're seeing demolition orders from for the first time in years, actually in Bali, right? In 2025, they made the panitia khusus trap
Yeah.
from the DPD. How does the new digital KKPR system prevent investors from buying green zone land by mistake? Because I could imagine that before, this has been always the case that getting the ITR, we did it manually, right, by through a piece of paper. And
Yeah.
then now everything is digitalized,
Yeah.
everything is through OSS. And what do you think now, the impact of this new system, digital KKPR, through from buying, like for the investors from buying green zone land by mistake?
uh, with the digital ETR now, it's very good, I believe, for the investor, because they
Mhm.
can take it by themselves. Where is zone I can build, where the zone I can run the business and everything like that. And also with the digital ETR and RDTR like that, it's easier to process the business license, because it's directly automatically, if you've already okay and the zone is okay, yeah, you will get all the permit on OSS. But the problem is the region that don't have the RDTR. Yeah, the
Mm.
problem is because they don't have the RDTR, they cannot do it automatically on the system. That's why that's take a time and longer period, because they need to do protect first, do the survey and do some research or something like that. And then after everything okay, yeah, it will be approved. But yeah, of course, it take time. If you do it on the region that have complete RDTR like Gianyar and Badung, it's very easy, because it's one day you can finish it, because as long as you follow the regulation and everything, yeah,
Mhm.
you can will get, yeah, maybe in one day, because it's all automatically. But if you don't, the region you do the business don't have the there, yeah, it can be take a longer time in there.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, one thing that I've learned also recently is that during, for example, the due diligence on notary, we need to actually ask the notaries to make sure that the land is cleared on the system, meaning that it has the satellite, it has already registered on the OSS or not, because otherwise you would have a headache regulating this digital KKPR. That's what I've learned.
Yeah,
Because before, everything we can do by just asking the BPN or PO, right?
yeah,
And everything is just by verbal. And now the checking needs to be through OSS.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now, next question. The final strategy question. If, for example, I am a high network individual looking to park 500K USD in Bali, do I
Yeah.
go for the golden visa or the second home visa? What's the winning play?
I think it's better you become the golden visa, because it's you can do more thing in there, because you can do the investment and living in there, and easier
Mhm,
to control everything on the company, the business.
mhm,
If you only a second home visa, it's you cannot work in there, you cannot do the business fully in there, you cannot become the director or something like that, so you cannot do too many things in there. You just do something like invest the money and leave someone to do all the business under your uh,
mhm,
under the company, because you only like a shareholder in there. You don't have a position as the head, as the director, or
mhm,
something. So the if possible, it's better to do the golden visa and become as an investor.
mhm. Okay. Last question for everyone watching. Takes just one action tomorrow to protect their investment. What should it be?
But
If for anyone watching this interview, this video, what would you say to them to just one action to protect their investment, something that they can do tomorrow? What should it
just
be?
just follow the regulation. Register your business first. If I'll register, everything is okay.
Mhm. Okay. And also from me, I would say to audit your KPLE and check your zoning coordinates.
Yeah.
That's, I think, something that you could do during lunchtime.
Just follow
Okay.
regulation and you
Yeah.
will save. Yeah, it's minimum. It's take time, but it's safe for a longer period, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because in our country, the regulation is very easy to change. So if you already follow, it's easier. Maybe they change A, so you can just change A, not change everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this was a lot of heavy information, Krishna, but essential for anyone serious about ROI in 2026. We've actually complied all of this data, the KBLE codes, the moratorium maps, and the permit checklist into a single strategic document. That's it for today. Krishna, thank you so much for your
Yeah,
time. And if you want the PDF delivered to your inbox, just drop the word blueprint
yeah.
in the comments below. No emojis, just the word blueprint, and we'll DM you the PDF.
Okay.